Good evening, everyone. We're going to dissect over here. If you look at Parshat Nasso, it's the longest parasha. It's in fact a very scary parasha for a bar mitzvah boy. But if you look at the end, it's just repetitive. Again and again and again, it's saying the same thing. And it's talking about all the Nesiim. So what's the repetition over here? It's all about what they brought. They brought one young bull, one ram, one sheep in its first year for an elevation offering, one he-goat for a sin offering, and for a peace offering, 2 cattle, 5 rams, 5 he-goats, 5 sheep, and some of the things were brought in silver bowls, silver basins, very, very expensive gifts for the Nesiim. Each Nasi brought a very expensive gift. And the startling thing is, when it came to the wagons to carry all these gifts, there the Nesiim, so to say, put 2 Nesiim's gifts in one wagon. As though they're, for everything else, they're writing out checks, endless checks. But when it came to the wagons, to the transportation, it looks like they carpooled together. They didn't go alone. What's the idea? All of a sudden, they're saving money. Why is that? So I saw a very fascinating pshat. That if we go all the way back to Yosef HaTzadik, when he's sold to Mitzrayim, after a number of years, the Shvatim come over there, and Yosef gives them a little bit of a difficult time, but then, when it comes to go home and to prove to the father that Yosef is alive, what does Yosef do? Yosef sends agalot. Yosef sends wagons. Why does Yosef HaTzadik send wagons? He sends wagons for one purpose, to remind his father that this was the last halacha that we learned. Agalot and igla urufa. Right? The last halacha that Yosef learned with his father was igla urufa. So agalot and igla urufa sounds the same. So in order for Yaakov Avinu to know that Yosef is still alive, and he should not think that this is some kind of made-up story, he says, you know what, Dad? You're going to be the only one to know what halakha was the last halakha that we learned. And therefore, I'm going to send you something that's going to resemble the last halakha. And with that, you will know that I'm still alive. Because I'm the only one that knows the last halakha that we both learned together. However, there's some Farshim that say, what do you mean, Eglah, Agalah? What does one have to do with the other? Eglah and Agalah are two separate things. And he says a fascinating thing. When he sent him the Agalot, you know what he was trying to send him? Yaakov Avinu had in back of his mind, how did my Yosef get over here? How did he get here? Because brothers could not get along. So they figured they're going to tear away part of the family. And with that, they're going to unify themselves. And that doesn't work. It brought to tremendous problems. That's how they ended up in Mitzrayim, because of the sale of Yosef. So Yaakov Avinu was constantly worried. He said, this is how my children and my grandchildren and all of Israel is going to act. They're all going to be with a problem with each other, constantly. And Yaakov Avinu became worried. What did the Nesiim do? The Nesiim, what they did was something very fascinating. They knew when they brought their gift that if they were going to go ahead, if the number 2 guy would outdo the number 1 guy and bring a better korban and a greater gift, what's going to happen? It's going to cause tension. It's going to cause feud. It's going to cause fragmentation. And people are going to be in a fight. And the Nasi of that Shevet that brought less, everybody's going to make him crazy. Everybody's going to come and complain to him, why were we less than them? And how is he supposed to know what the other one is going to bring? He was first. So the second Nasi decided that he's going to do the same exact thing as the first Nasi. Why? So there should be unity. There shouldn't be this fight for ego, who could do better. Now we're dedicating the Mishkan, we're going to open up the Mishkan. Let this be in the most peaceful way. So therefore, each Shevet brought the same exact as the Shevet before. Nothing more. Not only that, when it came to the Agalot, in order to show unity, in order to show that they're one, what do? They said, we're going to share the Agalah. We're going to share the wagon. So yes, we have all the money in the world to bring, each one bringing his own wagon. No, but we're going to do it together. We're going to do it together to show that we're one unit. Yaakov Avinu, when he sees the Agalot, when he sees the wagons that Yosef sent, Yosef is sending him a message. Dad, you think that this is going to be forever. This fight is forever. Look at these Agalot. These Agalot resemble the Agalot that the Nesiim are going to bring many years later. Those Agalot that the Nesiim are going to bring many years later, what do they resemble? They're unity. They're two Nesiim, two Shvatim bringing one Agalah, that we could both get along. When brothers get along, there's room for both. When brothers don't get along, even a tremendous house, they're bumping into each other. Here, the Nesiim showed, I could get along with my brother, therefore I'm going to take only one wagon. Yosef HaTzadik brings that one wagon. Those wagons, he brings those wagons to his father to tell him that this fight that we had with the Shvatim, Dad, it's over. It's not going to last. You're going to see one day these wagons are going to represent unity. They're going to represent oneness. It says, what ruins and what brings down many times Klal Yisrael? It's not somebody from the outside. It's the fact that we can't get along. When we can't get along, it brings everything down. When you look at Eretz Yisrael today and you have the leftists pushing their agenda, what it does is it breaks down. You have organizations, B'Tselem. You have organizations that show, that incite the soldiers and then show the soldiers reacting. Our soldiers, this is what they do to our boys. Who brings us down? Not the other side. Our side brings us down. They're the ones that kill us. Yaakov Avinu said, if I don't have unity, I'm not going to have my children. I'm not going to have them. And the moment he saw that Yosef HaTzadik sent those wagons, and he understood Baruch HaKodesh, those wagons are going to one day be brought. But in Siyim, he understood that this fight is not a fight forever. That one day Klal Yisrael is going to come together as a unit. And we hope and pray that Be'ezrat Hashem, that day comes very quickly where we have Mashiach that unifies all the different Shvatim together. And we all love each other and understand each other and grow to respect each other. And Be'ezrat Hashem, may it come in our time, in our day. Amen.